Oh, it's me again. I haven't done one of these in a little while. Not that anybody really watches these, but I guess it's gonna be something for me to look back on and fucking reflect on things. So, about 3 weeks ago, I had something interesting happen. And it's funny because you always hear these things happen, and I'm starting to believe that, I don't know, there is something to it. Sometimes things are just ingrained patterns, you know what I mean? Certain things are just, they're almost always going to happen because the same situation happens and the cycle repeats itself. What do I mean by that? Well, about 3 weeks ago, the mother to my child's mother hit me up and was talking to me about, mind you, this isn't the first time she's hit me up and tried to get me to save her daughter, my ex-girlfriend and baby mama. So she hits me up and she's telling me about how she's worried her daughter's dating this loser, he's abusive, blah blah blah, etc etc. Funny, right? Not funny, but I mean, we'll get into it. So she's essentially alluding to me talking to her to try to talk sense into her, which is funny because I'm the last person she can have sense talked into from, you know what I mean? So anyway, I get a wild hair in my ass and I'm like, alright, that's the mother of my child. I gotta fucking at least let her know what's up. So I message her, I'm like, hey, we gotta talk. Let's get together. I'll buy you lunch or something. Let's get together and take Freya, our daughter. We'll talk and try to figure some stuff out. And of course she's very suspicious. She thinks I'm, she comes off very standoffish. She's like, I don't know what you want from me, and blah blah blah, etc etc. Long story short, it gets put off for a week or two. We finally meet up, and we go to this place out here called the Children's Museum in Salt Lake City. And granted, this isn't the right place to do this type of thing, so we go to the Children's Museum with our daughter. We have a great time. It was frankly surreal with you. It was strange, because mind you, I haven't so much as said more than a couple words to her for probably a year and a half at this point. Let alone like looked at her or so it was strange. But as I said, we ended up having a really great day. Our daughter loved it. Her parents were spending time together with her. It was amazing, blah 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 blah. Long story short, we leave the Children's Museum. My daughter asks us, she goes, hey, can mama come to our house, being where I stay, and check out my room and all my stuff, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, if your mom wants to do that, sure, she can come on over. Long story short, her mom comes over. And it's weird. It's weird, as I said, it was a little strange. Long story short, once again, she spends the night. Nothing too eventful, unfortunately, for me, from spending the night. But we did stay up all night talking, and she essentially owned up to everything. She apologized. She said everything I said was going to happen happened, and her life is in ruins, and she doesn't know what to do, and she apologized profusely, and if she had a time machine, she would change time and make everything right, and blah 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 blah. I'm sure you can imagine. And it was genuinely fucking surreal. So surreal. We talked from, let's say, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. literally continuously. And looking back now, I realize that, well, I mean, I've known this, but like, she is not mentally well. She is just not mentally well, and I genuinely feel bad for her. I do. And I feel bad for our daughter. And essentially, she just, there was so much gaslighting and manipulation, and it was just such a strange occurrence. So, we have all this big long talk, and I was left confused more than anything than from when we started. So the next morning comes, we go out to breakfast, we have a nice day again, we go to breakfast, we go look at Halloween decorations, stuff we did when we were a family. It was cute, blah blah blah, great time. Long story short, I bring her back to her mom's eventually, and my daughter stays with her because it's her 2 days to have her. And so let's say on the second day of her having her, I message her, and I'm like, hey, did anything you say like mean anything to you, or was it just like a weird fever dream? Because that was something she said the night that we were talking. She was like, this feels like a fever dream, I can't believe we're doing this, blah blah blah. And it was strange, it was. So anyway, back to, I'm messaging her, and I'm like, so did anything you say, was it real, or what? And she's essentially like, well, I told you I don't have feelings for you like that. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And yada yada yada. But mind you, in the moment, she was essentially saying the exact opposite of this. She did tell me that she didn't have feelings for me, but at the same time, she was saying so much manipulative stuff like, you're the only person I could be myself around, and it felt so good being myself again, and yada yada yada. And I'm realizing that you need to keep the people that actually love you for you instead of the people that pretend, and my boyfriend's fake and all of his friends are fake, and blah 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 blah. So once again, let's fast forward to me asking her, like, yo, so did you mean any of this? She was essentially like, oh, I was so forthcoming with you and clear that I don't want anything to do with you like that, but I want you to stay in my life still. And I was essentially like, look, I told you that I can't be in your life if I'm just a side piece, you know what I mean? Like, and not even that, like, we didn't do anything intimate, we didn't, I got a hug from her, and that was it, nothing crazy, which was also weird. Getting a hug, that was strange. So anyway, I essentially was just like, no, dude, that's not how this is gonna work, bro. Like, I'm not gonna be on the sidelines and watch you go hoe around, essentially, when I still have feelings for you. Because I do have feelings for her. I love her. That's the mother of my child. And I really did feel a strong connection with her, I did. And it's unfortunate that things had to go the way they did. And I don't know. So essentially, everything went back to normal. We don't talk anymore again. I don't look at her. I don't talk to her. I go there, I knock on the door, my daughter comes out, we leave. You know what I mean? But I just find it so interesting that these patterns, because I had people telling me when it first started, they were like, she's gonna realize that she fucked up at some point. And at the time I was like, no, she's not. She's completely moved on, yada yada yada. And the night that we were talking so long, she did say everything that people told me she was going to say eventually. You know, she misses me. She has all these mementos that remind her of me. She cries about me all the time, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, as I said, looking back now, I realized that she was just manipulating me and gaslighting me and fucking just playing mental games with me. And I don't have time for that, you know? I'm trying to get my life together. She's talking about she's at rock bottom, and I'm like, you put me at rock bottom. Do you remember that? You remember that? We lost our apartment, our nice apartment that I paid for 3 years by myself and paid all the bills by myself. She didn't have a job. She didn't have to have a job. I paid for everything. Now she's at rock bottom, having to find a job, which she hasn't had a job still in a year and a half. And I don't know. It was a surreal situation, and these patterns are strange. And now I do believe that one day, I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know why, I do believe that one day she will have an awakening and realize, hey, I really fucked up. I do love this man, and I do want to be back with him. And now I find myself just completely cold, jaded, and cut off from everything. Aside from my daughter, like I haven't dated. I haven't even had relations with any woman since us breaking up about a year and a half ago. I haven't kissed another woman. I haven't done anything. And the thought of it, frankly, just makes me sick, because it's just not worth it to me anymore, you know? I have a daughter now, and that is my number one priority. And I don't have time to fucking play games with women anymore, you know? And it sucks, because I get very lonely, and to be frank, I do want to have relations, obviously, as a 32-year-old man now. You know, I'm a man. I want to do these things, but I just cannot find it within me to pursue it whatsoever, you know? It's just absolutely not worth my time. Or that's how it feels. I don't know. So I don't know. I guess that's the end of this. I just wanted to give my little update on that. Surreal situation, very weird. These patterns, people really do fall into patterns generally. And I wonder why, though. It's almost like a hive mind consciousness. You know, I've heard this before, and now that I'm experiencing it, I'm like, man, there really is just patterns that people fall into, and they really generalized just get into these patterns. They do the same thing, and it happens to everybody. Maybe not everybody, but it's enough to be like a common thing for people to understand and realize, and tell me and tell others of, this is what's going to happen, I promise. And you know, it's weird. It's very strange. But anyway, thanks for possibly watching my little talk about stuff. I'm sure this won't get many views, as none of them do, which is fine, because, as I said, this is more for me to reflect upon in the future, I suppose. But if you do see this, thanks for listening to my little emotional talks. I appreciate it. I'm a little bit alone, and I appreciate that people can give me advice they do and tell me what to look out for, and I appreciate any little emotional support I can get, so thank you so much. And that is the end of this. Joseph is signing out now.